Yo, 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 yo. Welcome in, man. Today is January the 13th, 2023. It's your boy Chris. This is the Cashed It with Chris NBA betting podcast slash show presented to you guys always by the Basketball Forever Podcast Network. Yesterday was not a great day. Not a great day at all. I actually went 0-3 on the official plays that I gave out. I like the Sixers in the first half, minus the 5.5 that did not cash. I like the Thomas Bryant double double. I don't know if people stayed up for that game or not last night, but Thomas Bryant got benched. Even though the game went to double overtime, you love the spot for Thomas Bryant, who was averaging, like I said, 13 rebounds on 20 rebound chances. Lakers started the game out extremely slow. Didn't play a lot of defense early in that game, and I knew we were kind of in trouble. Also, Lakers just kind of struggling with rotations right now. That same energy and effort and intensity that they had been playing with, the few games before, just wasn't there. I think Luka off 2 game losing streak, you could tell the Mavs were kind of locked in, even though either team could have won that game last night. So loss on Thomas Bryant double double by 1 rebound, and then also loss on the Lakers first half. You can kind of tell as soon as the game started that Lakers were missing defensive rotations. Lack of shooting out there really hurt as well. Coach Hand went with a defensive lineup. Guys like Juan Toscano Anderson being in your lineup. If you're not getting steals and getting early, leak outs in transition, you're not going to be successful at all. So 0-3 day today, 0-3 day yesterday, but we got to get it back today. We definitely get it back today. I got a couple things that I haven't really fully dove into, but I'm gonna just share my thoughts with you guys early, and I'm gonna do this pretty quickly as well. It'll be a shorter episode than normal. So first game up, I want to go to this Pelicans and the Pistons game. So Pelicans on the road in this spot, catching 4.5, coming off the loss to the Boston Celtics 2 nights ago, I want to say. So they got a day of rest in between. Of course, they're still without Brandon Ingram. Of course, still without Zion Williamson. So can they go into Detroit, who Detroit's coming off a home win against the Minnesota Timberwolves after losing back-to-back to the Philadelphia 76ers over the weekend and towards the earlier part of the week. Can they go in here and win the game by 5? I'm not 100% sure. What I do like in this game is the total. Pacers on I'm sorry, the Pelicans on the road typically go over, especially against the Eastern Conference, and then the Pistons at home it's been an absolute autoplay. You just play the Pistons at home because they're the worst, or if they're not worse, they're the second worst defensive team in this spot. So that's why I'm looking at in that game. Like I said, I have a full breakdown of it all, but these are just kind of my first thoughts that kind of come to mind. 232 is a pretty high total, but Pistons games at home typically touch the 235 to 240 mark, if not higher. So I like points in this game, especially Pelicans, getting a day off. Both of these teams getting a day off. So that's what I got for you guys in the first one. The next game I want to talk about is the Pacers and the Hawks. So the Hawks coming into Indiana off a loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. Fought hard in that game. Trae Young didn't play. I think he is probably going to be available for this game, hence why you see the Hawks laying 3 points. Hawks as a road favorite is not something you typically see, but we know that that's probably the case because Tyrese Halliburton did leave the game at Madison Square Garden 2 nights ago on crutches. So Halliburton will not be available for this game. So immediately the pivot that you look towards is and they actually have more injuries as well. Miles Turner was also a late scratch for that game. He's questionable with the back injury. O'Shea Brissett also set out. I think he played the last game. He's questionable with a hamstring injury. And then of course Aaron Naismith as well. One of their better defenders is also questionable with an illness. I think he's probably going to play today. Clint Capella also still out for Atlanta. What I'm looking at in this game, what I'm looking to attack, and I've actually been not waiting for Halliburton to get hurt, of course, but waiting for this guy to get his opportunity. It's Andrew Nembhard. I don't know if people have been paying attention, but I actually wrote this down a couple. I think it might have been a month ago. Nembhard started in that game against the Golden State Warriors about whenever I don't know exactly when that day was, but whenever the Indiana Pacers went to Golden State, this was probably a month and a half ago at this point, and they beat the Golden State Warriors. Andrew Nembhard had a career high in points and assists in that game. It was like a breakout game for him. I expect a similar performance against an Atlanta Hawks defense that really isn't that good, especially without having having Clint Capella down there to kind of anchor that defense. So I think the offense runs through Nembhard. I want to say he was averaging something like his assist numbers were literally just as good as Tyrese Halliburton. I can't think of the number. I'll go and find the numbers. But when Nembhard starts, you probably want to take his assists. I don't even have a line for his assists. I just wrote this down yesterday. So I'll be looking towards Andrew Nembhard's assists in this game, maybe his points plus assists as well. He'll have full keys to the vehicle with the only backup point guard being TJ McConnell in that game. So that's what I'm looking for in that game. Pistons and the Pelicans over 232. Andrew Nembhard over whatever his assist line is. Warriors and the Spurs. Spurs catching 8 points in this game. This game is being played at the Alamo Dome for people who don't know, for San Antonio. So it's a neutral spot, but not really neutral. Also, I think it got sold out. It's the biggest attendance in, I don't know if it's NBA history or what. I think it's like 65,000 people that's going to be in attendance for this game. A game that's going to mean a lot to the to the San Antonio Spurs. Also, it's the Golden State Warriors' first game. They sold 63,000 tickets, which eclipsed the standing record for 62,046 tickets. That was 46 that watched the Bulls and the Hawks play in 1998 in the Georgia Dome. So this game is going to be crazy for the San Antonio side. It's also the Golden State Warriors' first road game since before the Christmas break. This team has been at home since they beat the Memphis Grizzlies to kind of kickstart their winning streak and turning around their season. Golden State still is only 20-21. We know that they're one of the worst road teams in the NBA, and they still gonna struggle with some chemistry issues. It'd be nice to, I would like it a little bit more if Golden State didn't just get smacked up by the Phoenix Suns the other day, because Phoenix did come in there and laid the boom on them in Steph Curry's first game back. But I do think there's something to just the chemistry that has to happen. If anything, for me, I think the Golden State Warriors try to come out here and play more defense, let their defense dictate their offense. But I think that the San Antonio Spurs keep this game close. I'd actually be looking towards San Antonio team totals. First quarter, first half, and the full game. I know the total in this game is really, really high. You see a total of 240 and a half. That's a lot of points. Just because the Golden State Warriors don't play defense, and the books know that. They're going to adjust to that. So that's the way I'd be looking in this game. I think San Antonio keeps it close. So I don't know if I'm going to play the spread, maybe first quarter, first half, or if Golden State having to get used to having all the guys back, right? Like Steph just came back. Wiggins, I think, is only going to be his third game back. Jordan Poole having to slide back to the bench, right? Also, Iguodala being thrown back into the mix. So it's a lot of moving parts over there for the Golden State Warriors. I'd be looking towards San Antonio, who just played the Memphis Grizzlies, which I think is a better team than the Golden State Warriors right now. Played them tight twice. Back-to-back games, San Antonio played Memphis really, really tightly on the road at that. So I think it's a Super Bowl type game for the San Antonio Spurs today. I'd be looking towards them first quarter, first half to be able to kind of keep this game close. So that's what I got for you guys. There are two more games I want to touch on real quick. The next one being this Knicks versus Wizards game. So Knicks have been extremely hot. We know that. They've been playing up to their competition. This team is 23-19 on the season, 14-6 on the road. Last 10, just 5-5. However, 5-5 against the spread as well. The Wizards on the opposite side, just kind of hot and cold, man. Kuzma hit the game-winning three-pointer the other day in the game against the Chicago Bulls, but they had actually got blew out 2 nights before that against the New Orleans Pelicans. So third game of a 3-game homestand. Third game of a 4-game homestand. They do have the Golden State Warriors coming up on Monday. So they'll have the weekend off. The Knicks on the opposite side, 2 back-to-back. Well, lost to the Bucks, but then they beat the Indiana Pacers at home in their 2 previous games. They play in Detroit on Sunday. So no real look ahead spot there. They kind of own Detroit. Every time the Knicks play Detroit, they beat them by like 100. So Knicks have also beat the Wizards already one time in DC this year already. Well, I'm sorry, I'm dating back to last year. So the Knicks have covered the spread. What I'm looking at specifically, I do think the Knicks should be able to go in here, but the Knicks will sometimes play with their food, play down the competition. So what I'm looking at specifically is I'm looking at Julius Randle. I know that RJ Barrett came back, but we know that big men typically feast against the Washington Wizards. So if the Knicks can come out here and play defense, I think that there's no chance for them to have anybody that can slow down a guy like Julius Randle. He has been absolutely on a tear. I think he's still trying to make a push towards the All-Star game. I think his points plus rebounds was sitting at, let's see, because we don't have a lot of lines. I feel like the books are kind of sleep right now. I don't know if everybody else kind of looking at that or not, but Julius Randle points plus rebounds at 37 and a half. So that's literally like, 24 and 14 or 26 and 12. And I think that's absolutely obtainable for Julius Randle in this spot. So that's why I'd be looking at to kind of attack this game. I also think, going back to the trend of the Knicks first quarter, first half, right? They've been the best first quarter, first half team. And for motivation is really, really difficult to cap. But if the Knicks are serious about coming in here and putting a smackdown on the Wizards, they're gonna do it early. Best first quarter, first half team in the NBA, no matter if they're at home or on the road. So I would be looking towards the Knicks in this game, first quarter, first half. Moving along, last game I wanted to touch on is the last game on the board for tonight, and that's one of the last games. Houston Rockets also play Sacramento in the second of a head-to-head series between those two in Sacramento. Sacramento smacked them up pretty easily in the last one. I kind of see a similar performance tonight. If you're looking to play that game, I think you look towards Sacramento teams total to go over, or you look towards the Houston Rockets team totals to go under. But not anything official in that game. I want to talk about this Nuggets and the Clippers game though. So the Nuggets, after being at home, what it feels like, just kind of similar to like the Golden State Warriors, they've been home for it feels like about two and a half weeks. This is the best team in the Eastern Conference, but they are not the best team on the road specifically. Just 8-12 against the spread on the road. I saw Jokic's name pop up on the injury report for injury maintenance, but his stats are listed. His player props are listed um, on some of the sports books. So I'm not 100% sure if he's going to play. If he rests, like I said, his injury management with the wrist. Bruce Brown also listed as questionable. Jamal Murray said that he would play in this game. He did tweak that ankle in the last one, but he said post game that he was going to be in. PG has already been ruled out, so maybe look towards Kawhi. One thing I noted in this one is that I noted because these two teams did just play each other. We know that they played last week. I mentioned Denver playing a bunch of games at home. This team played 4 games at home, only had 1 game in the middle that was in Minnesota, and then also played 2 games before that, also at home. So it's been a lot of games at home since going back to right before the start of the new year. So the last game they went on the road. The last 2 games they went on the road. They lost to Sacramento by 1, and they lost to Minnesota by 13. I think there's something to how bad they beat the Clippers. If you watch the post-game interview, so this team just played on the 5th of January. So literally last week they played. And if people remember, the Clippers got smoked in that game. It was never really close at all. They ended up losing the game by 32 points. But for end of the first quarter, it was 32-15. They jumped on them early. When that was a game that PG and Kawhi both played in. They beat them 34-17 in the second quarter. So the score at halftime, I do remember them being down by 40, but the score at halftime was 32-66, right? Game was never in reach for the Los Angeles Clippers. And I watched the post-game interview, and Ty Lue just kept saying over and over again, we get them again. Let's see how we do in the next one. I think the Clippers come out here with something today. I think it's very interesting that the spread in this one open I saw open at 1. It's already up to 1.5 for the team that just won this game won the game by 30. Like I said, and now the opposite team is being favored by 1.5. I think the line is pretty telling in this one. I'll be looking towards the Clippers in this spot tonight. Clippers also just need some wins, but when you get beat like that, you got to come back out with something. So I'll be looking towards the Clippers, especially first quarter, first half. I think that if they're going to do it, they're going to set the tone early. It's also an ESPN game as well. So a lot of public money probably going to be on Denver because they've been balling. This team is really, really good, but Jokic could be ruled out. And without him, the MVP of the league right now, arguably, probably, I think, probably got a slight advantage over anybody. I'd definitely be looking towards the Clippers first quarter, first half with all the public money coming in on Denver. So that's what I got for you guys. 16 minutes in the books. Hit the like button for me if you guys can. I'm getting my money back today. The book, like I said, the books took my money yesterday. I went 0-3 on official plays, but I'm getting all that back today and some. Real quick, just what I touched on. Pistons and the Pelicans over 232. Not official play. Still got to cap it. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts on the early looks for today as we get more lines. Hawks and the Pacers, Andrew Nembhard. Whatever his assist line opens at, I'm probably going to be attacking that. Points plus assists also probably in play with them being down a couple guards. Also probably looking at Buddy Hield three-pointers. The Hawks give up a lot of three-pointers. So I'll be looking at Buddy Hield three-pointers in that spot as well. Pacers coming off a bad loss where they almost got to cover it against the Knicks and being down. It's going to be real easy to take the Hawks in that spot. Hawks also coming off a loss as well, though. But we know that the Hawks are not a good road team. Warriors and the Spurs, like I said, I'll be looking towards the Spurs team totals over, with the number being at 120. That is a tad bit high, so I'll probably be looking at them to be able to cover the first quarter and cover the first half on the spread as well, especially as Golden State tries to, get acclimated with getting the new pieces back together. And first road game since before Christmas. And then the Knicks and the Wizards. Like I said, Knicks first half has been a wagon. Knicks first quarter has also been a wagon. So I'll be looking to attack that spot as well. And Julius Randle, looking at his points plus rebounds. I like the spot for Julius Randle. Wizards can't really stop big men. They have Julius Randle should be a matchup nightmare. And he's been super ultra aggressive as he tries to make the All-Star team this year. And then the Nuggets and the Clippers, like I said, I'll be looking towards the Clippers, especially early in this spot. Keep an eye on the news for Jokic. Like I said, he is listed as questionable injury maintenance with a wrist injury. So that's what I got for you guys, man. Hit the like button for me. Share the show. Subscribe. All that good stuff. Let me see what y'all on in the chat before I get out of here. What up, Courtney? What up, Derek? What up, Anthony? Appreciate y'all. What up, Markel? Let's see. I thought LeBron was going to go over last. Yeah, last night was janky, man. I hate when the NBA is like that. I hate it, man. Jokic got to sit with the way that line looks. I'm thinking so, Derek. I think it's so. I think the books also know it's a super motivated. I'm always looking for motivation. It's hard to cap motivation. Those are my favorite spots. I'm going to have something on the Clippers tonight. For sure. Despite them winning in their record, I think the Nuggets are overrated, in my opinion. The Nuggets are really, really good. I don't think that they're overrated. I think they have to go through some adversity on the road, but the Nuggets are good. This team is good. Jokic is good. Now, can they translate that to on the road, what they're doing to teams at home? Because they have lockdown defenders in KCP and guys like what's the other guy name? Bruce Brown. A couple of those guys off the bench. 0-3 yesterday. Plumlee clash. Yeah, I didn't play Plumlee. I didn't give Plumlee out as official play. I said that it'd be the perfect time to go back to him, but I didn't play him, Andre. I liked Plumlee a lot yesterday. I talked about Plumlee in a bounce back spot. Rebounds cashed in the third quarter. Of course, when I don't take him and give him out his official play, they cash, right? Yeah, that's how it goes. And Brian said Knicks first half. I'll be there with you on that one for sure. So best of luck to you guys today, man. None of this is financial consultation. It's all theory and logic and query. I test trends, stats, data, all the stuff that that I'm seeing, trying to spit it out to you guys. So hopefully it helps you guys make better informed decisions. Like I said, hit the like button for me if you guys can. Go on your Apple Podcasts, your Spotify's, and download the podcast for me as well. Leave me a review. I appreciate you guys for doing that. And check out the Basketball Forever Podcast Network as always. Best of luck to you guys and all your best today. Back at 5:15 for the Crispy Cap and NBA show. We're getting our money back today, baby. Let's go.